jumping back into the Steven Universe comics today. Something I do want to do more often. You can probably expect more of these in the future, like coming more often. Just because they are fun, easy reads, and I don't have guaranteed time slots to do more complex projects. I'm trying to, for sure, but in the event that I can't, I'm probably going to front load a few of these the first chance I get so I can drop them when I don't have anything else to put out, if that makes sense. It helps a lot that I actually really enjoy these, too, to be clear. We're still doing the old and unfortunately named, because the series did end, Steven Universe Ongoing from Kaboom. This is going to be issue number 21. And let's just start the review, spoiling the entire thing by saying this is really excellent. This is an excellent comic. All of these have been really excellent. With the only real criticism I have still being the fact that the art, while good and clear, like, I can tell what's going on everywhere, which is not true of the previous series that I reviewed on here of comics for Steven Universe. It feels kind of flat. And granted, the show did too, but the show was on a shoestring budget. I would have preferred that with comic book art, they could have, I don't know, added some pizzazz to it here and there. It's good, it's competent. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying the artist is bad or anything, and they really are trying to make it feel like the show, and I appreciate that. I don't know, I kind of would like a little bit more. Really, though, that is my only complaint about this issue, where Peridot is having a sleepover at Steven's so they can watch Camp Pining Hearts. It's a little ambiguous when this is set. Pumpkin is around already, but Peridot has only met Greg maybe 1 or 2 times, because she still has to reconfirm with Steven who he is in the funniest way possible, asking if that's that flightless human. A great reference to the show. And he has to confirm her name when he sees her later. And this is a great example of, kind of like last time with the Connie stuff, the comics giving us the same kind of stuff that the show would, while also giving us stuff that the show didn't. In that one, Connie was having trouble with overworking herself in her sword training because she didn't feel like she was as strong as a gem. And Garnet talked to her about taking time to recover as part of her training. Something that not only ties into the kind of role Garnet often has in various groups made up of these people, but it's reminiscent of the talk that she has with Stefani in Mindful Education, and also ties directly into stuff that we know Connie was going through in the show. Gave us an interaction that we don't usually see, while being entirely in character and in keeping with the kind of thing we could have gotten an episode about. These comics, these Steven Universe ongoing comics, feel so much like episodes of the show that if my knowledge of what is actually in the show wasn't so, I won't say encyclopedic, because that's a little egotistical, but impressive, I might confuse some of them for episodes of the show. I might be like, hey, guys, do you remember that episode where Garnet talked to Connie about resting as part of her oh no, wait, that was a comic. You know, you get what I'm saying? And case in point, in this one, Peridot is hanging out with Steven. They're watching Peridot's favorite show together, and Steven is enjoying it with her in super in-character ways. This is a conversation that could have come right out of the introduction to an episode. It feels that natural. Peridot then breaks into song, talking about how, I think it was Percy, I don't know the Camp Pining Hearts characters, starts singing a song in one of the episodes, and it's one of Peridot's favorite episodes because she relates to the song, which is about reconnecting with people that you feel alienated from. And there's a couple ways you could take this. Peridot is just awkward. She has to remind herself to participate in certain relationship cues and stuff. So she might just feel kind of alienated from all of her friends on Earth in general, but you could also kind of read it like she feels ostracized from Homeworld now, too. She doesn't really feel like she entirely fits anywhere anymore. And I would argue, and the comic even kind of seems to draw upon this aspect of her character a little bit, I would argue that she probably didn't feel like she really belonged on Homeworld either. And that's part of the reason why she was so willing to join up with the Crystal Gems. And I like that she's not written as overly awkward. She still does her, like very obvious thank yous. Like, she'll very obviously thank people for things as if she's reminding herself to do so. She still does that kind of thing, which is very in character for her. But she had already come to the understanding that she likes the song because she relates to it. It wasn't something that Steven had to, like, tell her for her to get it. In fact, the way she's over-explaining it to him, she seems to be worried that he wouldn't understand her point of view, which is something like a neurodivergent person might worry about. Like, I do that a little bit, and I'm just ADHD, I think. I've never been diagnosed with anything else, at least. But I really like that, and I really liked the detail that she sits up to keep watching the show. After Steven goes to sleep, she uses technical terms for things, wishing him a pleasant rest cycle. I thought that was really cute. And then when she finally does go to bed herself, whether she actually sleeps or not, it's up in the air, she sets up a bed in the bathtub, because of course she does. Like, they could have just had her, like, roll out a sleeping bag next to Steven's bed. That would have been acceptable, and that would have meant, like, drawing fewer backgrounds for the comic. But no, they went out of their way to have her bunk up in the bathroom, because of course that is what she would do. That is so perfectly in character. I had the biggest smile on my face when I saw that. Who's the author on this thing? Who wrote it? Did I not leave it up? No, there it is. Grace Craft. Grace Craft, you're a master of it. Your craft. It was supposed to be a pun on her name. I apologize, that was really bad. But yeah, Steven finds her in the bathroom. She's still singing the song. And there's this really cute montage while he watches her sing the song. He listens to her singing the song. You know what I mean? Throughout his entire, like, morning routine. And he's just so sweet about it. Like, I don't know, I feel like they could have gone the way of him being kind of annoyed by this and, you know, helping her find other ways to communicate her feelings. But no, he's on board for all of it because he cherishes his friend that much. And that's also entirely in character. I think I would have been annoyed if they had gone that other route. And I love where the story takes this. Steven's like, hey, wouldn't you like to be able to play the music while you sing the song? And takes Peridot to Greg to learn the song on the guitar when he tries to go through the episode and work out the chords and he can't quite get it, which is excellent. Like, let's talk about that for a second. Like, Steven is an accomplished musician. He's really good at it. And if they didn't go anywhere else with the concept, again, I might have been kind of annoyed that they just created an excuse for Steven to take Peridot to Greg to facilitate the story. I don't think I would have been, like, so annoyed about it that it would have, like, detracted from my enjoyment of the story, but I would have felt it was contrived. But here it feels completely natural, because part of the, I guess, message of this story is that certain things take hard work, and you're not going to be great at them immediately, and there's always more to learn. Steven learned guitar from his dad, and he's not entirely as good as his dad yet because he hasn't learned everything. His experience hasn't encompassed everything that Greg's experience has musically. So Greg helps him work out what the actual chord is that Steven can get, and they're kind of going through the song now. He helps figure out what the rest of the chords are, and they start trying to teach Peridot, and she doesn't get it immediately, and she sees them playing guitar and understanding the language of the music. And when it kind of hurts her fingers to strum the guitar strings, Greg's like, oh, use this pick. He has the tool on hand. It's right there. And then she can't use it. At least not very well. She gets frustrated and runs off and needs a minute. And Steven goes to talk to her. And there's no pressure to keep going. Like, Steven's pretty obvious about the fact that he wishes that she would. But if she wants to stop here, he's not going to try to make her continue. But he does talk to her about what's going on and why she isn't taking to it, and she expresses that it's frustrating to be so behind others on something. And guitar is hard to learn. Music in general is hard to learn, at least for most people. Like, I'm not super musically inclined. I can't really play any instrument. I can play a little bit on piano, I guess. And I took violin lessons for a while, and I'm trying very slowly to get started a little bit on guitar. But even I know enough to understand, maybe it's because I've done so little, I understand how frustrating it can be to start. Learning music is like learning another language. The difference is it's already a language that you technically speak, because everybody has heard music before. And everybody has kind of like a baseline understanding of it, you know? But I can totally understand why Peridot would be frustrated that she didn't get this immediately. But it is still a great way to express yourself. And that has been what she's been aiming to do here. So I also understand why Steven does think she should continue, if she can. But in particular, I like the character stuff here. I'm actually going to bring this back up again and see if I can find this so I can actually kind of go over it bit by bit, because it's really good. Yeah, so she goes back to Steven's and she's staying there again, I guess. And she listens to the song some more and realizes that the song, the message of it kind of applies to this, and that if she wants to express herself the way that the character needed to, and a way to do that would be to continue to learn music. At least that's kind of what I read into the scene. It's a way she can express herself. It's a way she can bond with her friend. So she does want to keep doing it. So they go back to Greg, and she learns how to play kind of the start of the song. Learning the rest is still daunting, but at least now she has kind of the foundational understanding to do it. So there's hope, and it's this really cool moment for the character. And for the light criticism that I do have of the art, I gotta say, man, the way Peridot's expressions are drawn here is absolutely perfect. From her utter joy at producing music, to her frustration in having to learn more to be able to produce more. It's adorable and perfect, and I love every bit of it. Also, they never forget the scale of the guitar next to Peridot, because she is kind of small. Like, it always feels like she's holding a big thing in her hand. That's really cool. And I, in particular, really like the final panel of the comic of Peridot with a big grin on her face as she is continuing to play through the part that she knows, with Greg and Steven just being super happy for her. But more than all of that, I really love the character stuff in the part where she is talking to Steven about whether or not she wants to continue. You can read a lot into that, and it's really super, again, in character and speaks to the character a lot. It's the kind of stuff that you kind of always assume the character was feeling, but it would have been nice if they'd actually talked about it in the show. And here they are. Like, not only is not being able to learn the guitar immediately making her feel inadequate in the moment next to people who already know it so well comparatively, but I get the feeling that she also kind of relates to how she's feeling now. Like, it reminds her back to how she must have felt on Homeworld. Because on one hand, she was made to do a specific thing by Homeworld. She was meant to be a kindergartner, and she was good at it. Like, the way she's talking about the holes in the beta kindergarten it was just beta, right? You can tell she really knew her stuff. She was really good at it. Makes sense that they would pick a kindergartner who really knew their stuff to go and lead the mission to check on the cluster, right? So now she's trying this new thing, meant to express something about the new person that she is. And it's frustrating that she's not immediately good at it as if she was made for it. Makes sense. But also, I kind of get the sense that it does remind her of being born on Homeworld and being immediately told that she was wrong. Because remember, she's too small compared to other Peridots, at least as far as Homeworld's concerned. And she was not supposed to have any powers. They just assumed that she wouldn't because she came out different. She had to wear her limb enhancers because they put her more in line with what a Peridot was, quote-unquote, supposed to be. And so trying this thing that feels like it. So trying this new thing that feels like the natural progression of what she's been doing, and initially failing at it, probably reminded her of Homeworld insisting in so many ways that she was broken, when she was genuinely really great at being what they wanted her to be. So she's got like feelings of inadequacy coming at her from the internal and the external stuff going on around her. It must have been really painful. And it I think adds to how brave she was to come back, and to her accomplishment in actually managing to make progress, seemingly just in one day. It's really good. Like, Peridot's one of my favorite characters anyway, and this really did her justice. It was such a good, I almost said episode, it was such a good issue of the comic. If you haven't read it, you definitely should. I think you should read all these Steven Universe ongoings. They're all really solid, at worst. And some of them, like this one, are genuinely great. I'm looking to see what they've got advertised down here. They got Rugrats comics, that's pretty cool. I'm gonna have to check those out. I'm pretty sure Kaboom is like an affiliate of Boom Studios who's doing the Power Rangers comics still. And those are really solid. Like, it's just a good comic book company, is I guess what I'm getting at. And I think you should check these out. But I've been saying that in every single one of these, basically. So it's not really new to hear me saying it about these, and like, nothing's really changed. That said, what did you think of Steven Universe ongoing issue number 21, if you guys have read it? Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below. Or, you know, what do you think of it just based on what I've said here, I guess, because admittedly, you probably haven't read it. Let's get a discussion going in the comment section down below, and while you're down there, you might as well do all that YouTube stuff. In the meantime, though, this has been AJ22, and I will talk to you guys later.